Hello, my precious friends. Once again, my name is Dwain. We are in the study of the book of Psalms. This is week 4 of our adult Bible study guide, our lesson for this quarter on the book of Psalms. And today, God is defender and he is deliverer. Oh my. Defender and he is deliverer. Here we are introduced to some history in the nation of Israel. God's deliverance of his people from Egyptian captivity is captured in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 1 to 4, and then Psalm 114, very powerfully. In 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul says that, listen, we know that our forebears, our foreparents, our ancestors, all were under the cloud and passed through the sea, and that God had delivered them and were baptized into Moses in the cloud and baptized into Moses in the sea, saying that God was the one who had fed them spiritual food, and God was the one who had fed them spiritual drink. And that rock that they depended on for that food, and that rock of salvation that they depended on for that drink, that spiritual rock was Jesus Christ himself. Paul links Israel's deliverance with present deliverance. He links Israel's saving from captivity to the present salvation and saving offered through Jesus Christ alone. The two are meant to be together. They're meant to tell us a story about God as defender and deliverer, that God showed up in Egypt and God brought his people out and God saved them. What are we to take away from today? Let me tell you, today is going to be a wonderful study. It's very poetic. Psalm 114 talks about the hills trembling. And it talks about the mountains fleeing, and it talks about the waters fleeing. Psalm 114 is making the point that God is sovereign over everything, that God is all powerful. And the author, the psalmist says it poetically, but what he's saying is we ought to tremble. Psalm 114 and verse 7, it ought to shake you up at what God can do. Not that you should be afraid, but that you should stand in awe of him, that you should reverence him, that you should worship him, that you should honor him. The mighty acts of God that God has done on behalf of his people ought to give you pause. You ought to stop and consider God while there is yet time. Psalm 121 says, look to the hills from whence cometh our help. Those hills where danger sometimes lurks. The fact that God made those hills means he knows the danger in the hills. And if God knows the danger in the hills, he can deliver you from whatever lurks in the hills of your life. Walk the journey with God today because he is your defender and he is your deliverer. God bless you.